Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Smackdown. I'm Bryon, and I'm once again joined by Mike. Say hi, Mike. I got nothing for this week. I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I didn't prepare anything this week for the intro because you know who else didn't prepare this week? Apparently, either Booker of Raw or SmackDown, because I have basically no fucking idea as to what is going on anymore. Given what happened on Raw, so I'm legitimately confused. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, let's go, man.
It's funny because that man who won the Royal Rumble also said that the booking could be better. So which is it, man? Which is it?
He really did pull a Hulk Hogan where he's like, that doesn't work for me, brother. This booking is shit, and then proceeds to book himself as the winner.
Yep. How amazing
really
is that,
can't
man?
make that shit up, man. Bro. Okay, well.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're heading into the chamber. That is the next premium live event. Unless there's a freaking Saturday night's main event in between. For God's sake, please do not have another Saturday night's main event in between. Yeah. And then after that we got WrestleMania. I still don't think or feel rather. I still don't feel this is WrestleMania season, but I guess we are in it now. So, yeah. No, okay. Glad your indifference is agreeable there, I suppose. But anyway,
Did you ask me something? I didn't hear you ask me something, but
oh, I was just gonna say that
I also don't believe we're in WrestleMania season either.
Yeah,
Doesn't feel like it.
yep. Maybe it's because we're in Vegas this year, but whatever. Again, but we must continue. This is a show, as you may know, or probably not. In either case, we will provide you the information anyway. What a great intro so far. We predict and book what happens on the next episode of Friday Night SmackDown. That's what we do on the show. We do it according to these rules. And then after that, after we tell your bookings and predictions for the episode of SmackDown, we will watch said next episode as it airs, and we will basically score our predictions and bookings based on this system. And we will come back on the next episode here and tell you what we got. And then we do this whole thing over again. So, scores. I have a 10.5. Sorry, 7.5. I looked at your score and said 10.5. 7.5. I got 7.5. And that is due to just the majority of the appearances. I got Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, Carmelo Hayes, Rey Fenix, Sami Zayn, and Drew McIntyre. And I also have a Carmelo Hayes win on that as part of the score. And the halves were just for, wrestlers who did not appear in a promo but were in a match and vice versa, either as distractions or I don't know what happens after that. So 7.5 for me. Mike, looks like you got 10.5. That's a lot of points.
Yes, yeah, I did get a 10.5. Most of it was from appearances from Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes in the main event. I didn't have them fighting, but they all appeared on the show. I got appearances from them, and then just I think I got the Johnny Gargano Axiom fight correct, as well as Ilya Dragunov and The Miz. So there you go.
Nice. All right. Hopefully that good streak continues as we talk about what's gonna announced or what is announced for this episode. That will be the Cody Drew McIntyre fallout, as well as Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Tama Tonga. So should be a decent episode of SmackDown, I guess. So without further ado, let's book this thing. Get to my version of the show first, as Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss walk to the ring. They talk about the Rumble, and as you may know, on the Rumble, Alexa got eliminated by Charlotte, or was it? Yes, yes, that happened. Charlotte eliminated Alexa Bliss, so they talk about that. Alexa then asks if they're still friends after that, or Charlotte does. Not sure who, but that question is definitely going to be asked. The other responds, yeah, I guess we are. I guess. I don't know. It's kind of have this half hearted tone to that answer. And the other tag team partner nods her head in agreement, says okay, and then moves on. This is again just to plant some seeds that maybe they might break up. But anyway, they talk about the tag team championships that they have lost and how the Bella Twins are back, which increases the competition between the tag teams. And as a result, they're gonna have to work a little bit harder to get back to the top and get the title that they want. And so, as a result, they're going to keep an eye out for what happens later tonight, as I guess at the start of the show, they may announce the Rhea and Io taking on Nia and Lash Legend match for the Women's Tag Team Championships, and they say that whoever wins, they will challenge them next and win back the title that they lost and get back to the top. I will talk more about this as we go to that match later on, but for now, we got Trick Willie. He takes on Damian Priest. After that, I will have. I know that this happened on a Smackdown previously, but I think due to 50-50 booking, I guess we'll just have this match again, just so that we have something for these two to do, and I will have Damian Priest win again due to 50-50 booking. He will win by pinfall after a distraction from Sami Zayn, and after the match, Sami Zayn will brawl with Trick Williams. I think this is an unresolved feud that they have to resolve before they put Sami Zayn back in the title picture. Again, this is just the long, long road for Sami Zayn to get his title in 2027. So until he gets the title, which is next year, he probably is going to be placed in a bunch of mid-card feuds, and him against Trick is definitely going to be one of them. So Sami Zayn brawls with Trick Williams after the match, which sets up the match for next week, so he can move on to the Chamber qualifying matches, and I think he is going to be in the Chamber match itself for the men, and he will use it to possibly get into a rematch against Drew at Mania. So that's his sort of ambition there. You know, he got, I wouldn't say screwed at the Rumble, but he lost at the Rumble going up against Drew on that title match, and he feels like, you know, he wants to have a rematch, he wants to have a do-over. So that's his sort of ambition there. But Trick, you gotta resolve that thing with Trick before moving on. So Kit Wilson takes on Matt Cardona. And do you remember on Monday Night Raw how Oba Femi debuted? He debuted against a tag team. This one, I am going to have, what's his name? Royce Keys. I'm going to have him come in and cause a DQ as the match starts. He comes in kind of like Brock Lesnar and he destroys both of them. And yeah, I think this will lead to a rivalry between him and either Kit or Matt, depending on whether or not he's a face or a heel. I'm leaning more towards a heel because I think that's what he was in AEW. He was a heel. And I will have, or, sorry, this could be an interesting idea. I will have Matt and Kit sort of form a permanent alliance where they try to take down Royce Keys with the both of them. But Kit Wilson's, let's just say, behavior or demeanor against Matt, calling him toxic and all that, it's definitely going to be an obstacle to them taking Royce Keys down, and ultimately I think this is a feud where Royce Keys goes over and we go back to this feud between Kit and Matt Cardona. And yeah, that could be an interesting idea, I think, that they could explore, but I think that Royce Keys will come in on SmackDown as a debut, and he will wreck the two fellas that are fighting here. Moving on, Carmelo Hayes takes on Ilya Dragunov for the US Championship. Again, this is due to what happened last week on the Go Home show, where Ilya talks to Carmelo and says, I want to go back to our match and do that all over again. So, there you go. So, I will have Carmelo Hayes win by pinfall, as always. After the match, Carmelo shakes hands with Ilya, and Ilya gets attacked by The Miz. If you remember, Ilya had a match against The Miz on the Go Home show. I don't think this is over, so Ilya gets attacked by The Miz from the back. He stares at Carmelo. Carmelo shakes his head and leaves with the title, raising it to end the segment. So, again, this is sort of a Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz sort of kind of feud that they had for the past couple months. And again, we also have Ilya coming in. This may lead to a triple threat match between the three at Elimination Chamber, but I think that The Miz is probably the next contender for Carmelo Hayes' title, but Carmelo keeps the title because I do not want The Miz to have the US title. Simple as that. Tiffany Stratton is next. She comes out. She talks about the Rumble and how she returned in the Rumble. And she's back for one reason and one reason only. And that is, of course, the Women's Championship that was held by Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill comes out and essentially tells her to get to the back of the line if she wants to have this title. Tiffany tells her that she will gladly do so as long as she gets back to the top quickly because it's still her time. Tiffy time. Jade replies that she doesn't need to tell her the reason why she won't go back to the top quickly. She will just have to show her why. And Tiffany can watch by going on commentary because, well, Jade Cargill will have a match against Jordynne Grace for her title with Tiffany Stratton on commentary, and I will have Jade Cargill win by a roll-up. Now, interesting to have Jordynne Grace kind of lose to a roll-up, but I think that there's going to be some shenanigans here, some dirty tactics, maybe some stuff by Tiffany Stratton is probably going to be thrown on there, but ultimately I think this is going to lead to a dusty finish. So Jordynne Grace is probably going to have a legitimate reason to have a rematch against Jade at a later point. So, and also it's impetus for her to go into that Women's Chamber match and get that title match against Jade at Mania to sort of right the wrongs of what happened here. So, yeah, I think that's good, I suppose. Tiffany, what about Tiffany? So, Tiffany, obviously after the match, Tiffany, kind of distressed that she sort of affected this match. She leaves after the fact that Jordan went after Jade. This is unfair. They go into a little bit of a brawl around the back to sort of continue that from last week. Tiffany, as I said before, she leaves. She goes after Jordan, but gets attacked by Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. And I think going into WrestleMania, that is going to be her next feud against Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. I think this is going to maybe lead to a US title match first against Julia. But Tiffany as a babyface on her return, I don't know if the fans want that. I think it would be much better if she was a heel. But yeah, I honestly think that, they'll probably put her the US title. But first, she came back. So it's time to put her up against someone like Chelsea Green who will build her up and make her a sort of suitable threat for Julia on that US title. So, Tamatonga takes on Shinsuke Nakamura. This is an announced match. I will have it end in a DQ when the MFTs attack Shinsuke, much to Tama's dismay. because apparently the MFT Wyatt 6 feud is not over. Jesus Christ, please end this feud. After the match, the MFTs are attacked by the Wyatt 6, and the Wyatt 6 get back the lantern, which sets up their match at WrestleMania for the Tag Team Championships. I think this is going to happen, and hopefully their feud ends there. I honestly am sick and tired of this. Even with the lantern stuff, even with the promos between the two of them, I am just sick and tired of this, and I want this to be over. So there you go. I want this to be done and over with. I don't think this Tama Shinsuke relationship is over. I think they will revisit it after the feud is over. So that's why I have it end in a DQ or a no contest. Oh yeah, I should have said no contest instead of a DQ. Well, anyway, I meant to say no contest for this one and Kate Wilson versus Matt Cardona, not a DQ. But anyway, yeah, no contest. MFTs attack Shinsuke, and Wyatt 6 attack the MFTs. WrestleMania. So, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky take on Nia Jax and Lash Legend next. This is the match I mentioned earlier in the Charlotte Flair Alexa Bliss promo. I will have Nia and Lash win by pinfall. After the match, they continue to beat up Rhea and Io, but are stopped by Charlotte and Alexa as a follow-up from that first segment. However, I will have an angle where Alexa accidentally hits Charlotte as Nia and Lash leave, and they're laughing, and they leave with the titles. So I have Nia and Lash be the new champions as they head into WrestleMania, and I will have sort of the next challengers be Charlotte and Alexa. I think they are big names for WrestleMania, and Rhea and Io kind of had their WrestleMania time in the sun, so I think it's time for Nia and Lash to get their time in the sun this time. And as I said, they're going to have a match in WrestleMania between Nia and Lash, as well as Charlotte and Alexa, and that is when I will have Charlotte break up with Alexa, making Alexa the face and Charlotte the heel. And yeah, this will be their sort of last sort of hurrah as a tag team before they break up. It's going to be tear jerking, if that's the word, but it's gonna be emotional. That's what I'm saying. But I think that's what they'll do there. Main event: Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre have a little promo as a fallout from the Royal Rumble. I will have Cody Rhodes come out first. He addresses what happened in the Rumble, saying that he was eliminated by Drew McIntyre, which did happen. And as a result, he says that he doesn't feel happy that he lost, as that was the last way for him to get a rematch against Drew. Despite that, it is just a setback. He knows that he will always find a way to get back at Drew and get back the title that he lost, no matter what the cost may be. Now, I put that no matter the cost may be because I think Cody Rhodes is going to be a heel, but not now, later. He is then interrupted by Drew, who tells him to go back to the back of the line because the champion wants someone new. He wants someone who deserves to challenge Drew McIntyre for the title. He also talks about the match with Sami Zayn at the Rumble. He said that he did what he could, but Drew will always outwit the challenger. He'll always find a way to disappoint Cody and his family because, let's face it, Drew McIntyre is the real American dream. Cody is then attacked from the back by Jacob Fatu. He tries to go after Drew, he meaning Jacob Fatu, but Drew retreats, raising a title in his face. So, I think that this will either go to a triple threat match between Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, and Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania, or they could also make Jacob Fatu be a part of the finish between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre if Cody wins the Chamber and gets to challenge Drew at Mania. Maybe Jacob Fatu can be integrated in the finish there. And, that's when Cody Rhodes turns heel and just goes full on schizo, goes full on Homelander, and just wrecks everyone. Or you could also do Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu again at WrestleMania in night 1. And then you could also do Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre in night 2, or have, a stipulation where if Jacob Fatu wins Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu, then that match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania will be a triple threat match where Jacob Fatu is inserted there. I think that's a good idea if they want to go that way. And then Cody turns heel either at the finish of the match or after the match. That could be a good idea in my opinion. So, yeah, I think I am leaning more towards the idea of Jacob versus Cody again at Mania. And if Jacob wins, then Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre at Mania will be a triple threat. And Jacob can be inserted there. And we'll have Cody Rhodes turn heel. I don't think he gets the title back, though. I think this will set what the rest of the year will look like, as Cody Rhodes tries to win back his title by any means necessary. And, yeah. Gets rid of Jacob as well. So, any questions?
So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the current number 1 contenders for the women's tag team champions are Julia and Kiana James.
I think they did that match already.
Did they? I
think so.
I mean, I didn't watch half the Rumble, but hold on. I'm pretty sure that let's see here. No.
No?
No. It was just no, the matches at the Rumble were Wyatt 6, right? Well, actually, no, sorry. There were 2 dark matches on the Rumble for some reason. There were Wyatt 6 and MFTs.
Wait, what? There were dark matches in Saudi?
I know, crazy.
What the hell?
Dark matches at a premium live event. So there were Wyatt 6 and MFTs, and then Motor City Machine Guns versus the New Day. And then you had the Women's Rumble, Gunther and AJ, Drew and Sammy, and then Men's Rumble. So I don't think I don't think they've taken their shot yet. So I think they're still technically the number 1 contenders.
Well, I mean, Julia and Kiana James are going to lose anyway. All I'm saying is that after them, it's going to be Nia and Lash, and then after them, it's Charlotte and Alexa. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
But I honestly thought that we already had that match against Julia and Kiana James. There's too many fucking teams here. I'm just saying. There's too many teams to keep track of between Raw and SmackDown as to who the number 1 contender is. Because they set up so many number 1 contender matches that it's just like, okay, is this a number 1 contender match or a number 2 contender match for the title? I get that you want to be competitive or you want to make this competitive, but come on, guys. This is already confusing. But anyway, all I'm saying, Julia and Kiana are not going to get the titles. I don't think they will get it. Nia and Lash are going to be next, and then after them is Charlotte and Alexa. So, and Nia and Lash will get the titles, I think. Any other questions before we move on to your card?
No, I'm ready for my card.
All right, let's move on to your card then. Starting off with,
we have a Cody Rhodes promo. So Cody comes out and explains that he obviously didn't win the Rumble. The results didn't. He didn't like the results of the Rumble. He lost, and that's on him. But Cody wants to get back to the championship, but he has some business he needs to take care of, and he has business with one Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu seems to think that Cody has ran him down earlier in the year, but he can tell you that that's not true. So Cody tries to make his case as to why he didn't strike down Jacob. Geez, they're all fucking Tongans. And they all have like similar first names with like 2 syllables. It's very difficult to get
Tala
them all
Tonga.
right.
Tama Tonga.
Tonga, Solo, Jacob, Fatu, Sokoa.
Well, the only
Anyway.
one that doesn't fit is JC Mateo.
Mateo is like, I don't know, it sounds more like
Italian.
Spanish to me, or Italian.
Oh, yeah.
So Jacob Fatu comes out and confronts Cody, and he says, I don't know who it was. It was either you or Drew. And we're going to continue to play this out for a little while. I don't know where it's going, but I'm hoping that they get some sort of resolution soon. They start yelling at each other, and then Drew McIntyre comes to the stage and tells them to stop bickering like children. And Drew says he's going to go to the back, and he is going to talk to Nick Aldis to get him a new, fresh champion, a new, fresh contender for his title that he'll be defending at Elimination Chamber. So Cody then says, well, you know what? Speaking of Elimination Chamber, I am going to enter the Elimination Chamber qualifying tournament, which starts next week. Jacob Fatu also declares that he wants to enter that tournament as well. And I think this will end up with both of them squaring off in the Elimination Chamber in about a month.
Oh.
So, yep.
So you think both of them will be on the chamber match itself?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Interesting. Do you think that this will lead to either or man winning? Like either Cody or Jacob winning? Or
I think Cody wins. I think Cody wins and turns heel at Mania. Yeah.
All right, so Cody versus Drew. Do you think that Cody Rhodes will turn heel at Mania?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is funny because that's when John Cena also turned heel as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Or was it SummerSlam? I forget. Was it SummerSlam or WrestleMania where John Cena turned
Chamber
heel?
is where Cena turned heel.
Oh right, no, it was Elimination Chamber, and then it was WrestleMania where he won the belt. Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there could be the case where Cody wins the belt and then turns heel. That could also be the case, but I don't think he should win the title. Honestly, I'm leaning more towards Drew, but yeah. Anyway, we'll move on from that too.
We have a women's tag team championship match. We have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Julia and Kiana James. This is because Julia and Kiana James are the women's tag team champions. The women's tag team champion #1 contenders. I think they blow this off now. Obviously, I think Rhea and Io retain here. What happens after is that they are confronted by Nia Jax and Lash Legend, who square up with them in the ring. And before they can get to a brawl, they are interrupted by Nikki Bella and her sister, who come out from the stage because they said on Raw that they want to enter the tag team scene. So we're going to add yet another tag team to this absolutely jam-packed women's tag team division, I guess. So yeah, I think this is setting up for possibly a #1 contenders match again for Nia Jax and Lash Legend, right? Versus the Bella Twins. No, this would be #1 right now because Julia and Kiana James would lose, and then it would be and then it would be either the Bella Twins or Nia Jax and Lash Legend. I think probably this goes to Nia and Lash, and I think they'll win at Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm guessing we're heading towards Bella Twins versus Nia and Lash at Mania. With what you have,
probably. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I could see the Bella Twins trying. Yeah, fighting them at Mania. Yeah. Sure.
Sure. Makes sense to me. We'll move on from that then too.
We have a Jade Cargill promo. So Jade comes out and says that she watched the Rumble. She saw that Liv won, but she hasn't made her decision yet. But she tells Liv that she is that bee, that female dog.
Yeah,
and
she's
she
a big dog,
and she's a big dog. And that she'll win even if Liv comes after her. So she is interrupted by one Jordan Grace. These two have been having a bit of a tiffy, no pun intended, between each other. And Jordan comes out and tells her that, well, listen, I don't see anyone else stepping up right now to fight you. So how about I come after that championship? Then Jordan Grace is attacked from behind by Chelsea Green, because Chelsea Green is a heel. And I think they also had some confrontation last week, right? I think she wanted her to join the Secret Service, and she said no.
Yeah.
So they both start to beat up on Jordan Grace, but then Tiffany Stratton, fresh off of her Rumble return, comes down to the ring, saves Jordan Grace, and this ends up being our main event tag team match.
Okay. I guess I will reserve my questions for that. We will move on then to
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Tama Tonga. So this was not booked for this week, I don't think, but they did mention this in a backstage segment. But I guess we can call it booked because it was mentioned on the show. I think Tama Tonga wins this one clean. I don't think there's any MFT interference. I think there's a genuine show of respect between the two competitors here. And I think this leads to Tama kind of realizing he doesn't need the MFTs anymore. The MFTs are told by Tama to stay in the back. He doesn't need their help. Solo is probably somewhere else. So I'm going to tell him that's my Deus Ex Machina for why Solo isn't telling the MFTs come out. So Tama, I think, is going to be the first to peel off from the MFTs as a singles competitor.
All right, nice. So, do you think that Tama Tonga turns on the MFTs at Mania? Is that where you're predicting?
I don't think it happens at Mania. No, I think it just happens in like some backstage segment or something where he just kind of leaves.
Okay.
So or the group turns on him.
So. Oh, yeah, that could also be the case, yeah. Do you think that Tama will use this to get the US Championship? Do you think he gets the title, or do you think he'll be used in some other mid-card feud?
I think he becomes a mid-card jobber for a while. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, he could make a run at the US title, so, but,
Yeah. Well, speaking of the US title, I guess we'll move on to that.
Yes. We have a US title feud between Carmelo Hayes and Royce Keys. So this is Royce Keys' debut on SmackDown. Obafemi debuted on Raw, where he absolutely eviscerated the War Raiders, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think that Carmelo wins this one thanks to an assist from Damian Priest. Damian Priest was eliminated from the Rumble by Royce Keys. I think that's going to be Royce Keys' first feud in this company, is going up against Damian Priest. So there it is. And you're welcome. This isn't because Carmelo asked for his help. It's just because, Damian hates Royce Keys right now. So there you go.
Wow, that's a big man feud, Big man going up against big
man slapping man meat. Yep.
Where do you think Royce Keys goes from here after Damian?
I think you got to pair him up with another big man. So I think he might probably. I mean, I think that you could put him up against like Jacob Fatu, maybe. Okay. If you want to keep him on SmackDown.
Aleister Black?
Solo. Yes, Aleister Black. Yeah, I guess you could do Aleister Black. I would love to see him versus Brock Lesnar. Like that would be two big old dudes going at it. But I think they're going to keep him in the mid card, lower card for a while until he can get a spot. So there you go.
They'll probably do it at WrestleMania next year. You know, if the Saudis
Yeah.
are down for it. Just
The
saying.
Saudis are down for it, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Brock Lesnar appeared in the Rumble. Who knows if Brock Lesnar's gonna appear again in the rest of the year? I think this is it after after the Rumble. You know, did you know that Brock Lesnar was fuming about how he got eliminated in the Rumble?
Really?
Yeah, because if you remember, he and who was that other guy? I think Royce Keys. Like both of them were eliminated while Jey Uso was yeeting in his entrance. If you remember.
Oh yeah, I was pointing it out to you where Jey Uso was just fucking eating in the corner while there were like active eliminations of like Lesnar, um, and Royce Keys going on. Let me look at the order here. Yeah, because they got eliminated. Let me see. No, I think it was
Was it Royce Keys?
it was Obafemi. It was Obafemi
Oh,
and Brock
Obafemi, yeah.
Lesnar that both got eliminated around the same time, like after Jey Uso came in.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck is he yeeting again in the middle of the Rumble? What is this? Why isn't someone just taking his ass and planting him on the outside of the ring? It was so dumb, man. It was so dumb. I loved Laparca being back, but again, that was a really dumb fucking spot, man.
I think one of the bookers over there has a bit of a soft spot for Jey Uso. The way he just keeps on he keeps on entering these things and keeps eating, and then they make the run it back a meme. Someone out there on the booker's chair loves Jey Uso, man. Can't believe it. I wonder who, but we can only guess. Or you can watch Unreal, I guess, if you like that crap. But anyway, we'll move on to the main event, which is
Jade Cargill and Chelsea Green versus Tiffany Stratton and Jordan Grace. This is a win for Stratton and Jordan Grace. I think what happens here is that Chelsea ends up taking the pin. And both of the competitors in the ring sort of stare down Jade Cargill and then look at each other because they both want that title. And only one person can have it. So there you go.
all right. So you're saying that Jordan versus Jade is the women's championship feud?
I think there's probably a number one contenders match that between Tiffany and Jordan Grace coming up soon, I would assume.
Yeah.
And then whoever wins that fights Jade at Elimination Chamber. And I do not know whatever the hell they're going to do with her after that. I have to assume Bianca is coming back at some point because I don't know what you do with Jade at this point. Like
maybe you
she
could
hasn't done anything.
Maybe you can have Jade retain at Mania, and that's when you'll have Bianca back, right? I think Mania is probably going to be the best way to get Bianca back aside from the Rumble. So maybe you could have a match between Jordan and Jade at Mania and then have Bianca come back at the end to maybe screw over Jade and give the title to Jordan as a result, and they could have their blood feud there. But
yeah, that could work. That could work, yeah.
Yeah. What about Tiffany Stratton? Do you have her go up against the US champion or another mid-card feud?
I think she stays in the women's title contention for a little bit to keep it competitive. So, but I don't think she gets it anytime soon again. Maybe she goes into a tag team when the women's tag team division calms down.
Oh my god, another tag team, bro? Another one? Yeah, they're kind of put in an interesting situation because you have Jordan Grace called up from NXT, and then you also have Tiffany Stratton coming back, and then potentially Bianca Belair too. So it's just like the women's title picture on SmackDown is going to be fascinating in terms of who they're gonna pick to be the contenders for Jade in terms of the order. But I do agree with you that Tiffany is going to be in that title picture for a while, but they're probably hanging on Jordan Grace to get the title off of Jade first, and probably failing, and that's when you'll have Bianca back. So probably that might happen. We'll see. We'll see. But that is what we have for the next episode of SmackDown. And as I said earlier, we will watch the next episode of SmackDown as it airs, and then we will come back here and tell you what we got, and we will book again and predict ad infinitum. So until then, thank you for ordering a blue cheese pizza called probably next week on SmackDown from Grapperinos. And remember, if you are down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos!